Hello everyone, welcome to Legacy IAS. Today we are going to do a question from CSAT 2022. Okay, so just by looking at this question, it may look a bit difficult. Also, it does not follow any kind of fixed ways or type of problem that we do. So, now how to approach this particular problem, that we'll understand. Instead of how we usually do, we take conceptual questions and then we study the whole concept behind it. Here, what we will do, we will take this question and we will solve it in a very logical way. Instead of saying that by trial and error, you try all these numbers, then you get to it, we will take you on a journey in which we will tell you a very logical way of how you could have deduced and got the answer. Of course, this is not a type of question that will have a whole theory behind it. Okay, but still you will like the logic by which we will solve it. Let's get started. So, what the question says, understand, let P be a 2-digit number and Q be its reverse number. Okay, in the original question it was written Q is a number formed by reversing its digits. That is the same thing. So, if P is a 2-digit number, let's say it is like 25, then Q would be what? Q would be a number that is formed by reversing its digits. So, Q will become 52. Something like this we are talking about. Correct? So, if P is any number, then Q would be its reverse. In general form, if P is xy, then Q would be yx. Correct? Now what we need to do, look here. The question says that the product of P and Q is 2430. Correct? The product is 2430. Then what we can do? So if P into Q is 2430. Now what we need to find? We need to find difference between P and Q. Now, if the numbers are formed by interchanging its digit, what we know that their difference would be a multiple of 9. That much we know. Okay, like let me tell you this also. So if there is a number, let's say P is a 2-digit number. This concept is not directly used in this question, but you can learn it. So P is a 2-digit number and Q is a number formed by interchanging its digits. Correct? So if P is a 2-digit number, let's say on the form xy, then can you write this in expanded form? Right? This is the 10th digit, this is the 1st digit. So it will become 10x plus 1. Similarly, now Q would be, interchange this, so yx. Now yx can be written as 10y plus x. Correct? This much you understand? That is why. Now what we can do? We can subtract both of these equations. Once you subtract both of these equations, what you will get? You will get that P minus Q is equals to xy minus yx. That's fine. Look here. 10x minus x would be what? 9x. And y minus 10y would be minus 9y. Correct? So, this can also be written as 9x minus 9y. Can also be written as like this, 9 times x minus y. Correct? No problem in it. Now, can you see that P minus Q is formed by x minus y into 9? That means the difference between these two numbers will be a multiple of 9. This much you can get from this. That the difference between these two numbers will be a multiple of 9. Correct? Now, but what UPSC has done, This much you must have understood, that it will be a multiple of 9. The difference between the number of a two-digit number and its interchange would be a multiple of 9. That much you must have understood. Now, but what UPSC has done very cleverly is they have given you options, all of which are multiples of 9. So this is 45 multiple of 9, 27, 18, 9, all are multiples of 9. That's why nothing of that theory is used here. So we now have no theory with us, and we must do it in a very logical way by our own first principle thinking. So understand how we will do it. It's a very better method than what is circulating in the market in the name of trial and error. Do this, do this. They know the original answers anyway, so they will tell, take this and take this. Clearly it is coming like that, so you can go forward with it. But that is not the correct solution. Understand? So P into Q is 2430. Now, what does 243 remind you of? 243? 243 reminds you of what? Does it remind you 81 into 3? It should, because this is actually 3 power 5. Correct? 3 power 4 is 81, 3 power 5 is this 243. Now, it is written 2430. So, how this will be formed? It will be formed something like 3 power 5 into, now we have to make 10 multiplied by 10, correct? 243 into 10. So, into 2 into 5. We learned writing numbers in prime factorization form. So this is its prime factorization form. Correct? 3 power 5 into 2 into 5. Now understand one very logical thing. See. Now you understand this much, that these numbers would be divided in two parts. One would go to P, one would go to Q, and their product would be something like 2430. Now see. Let's take case 1. If I assume that 2 and 5 goes in same group. So two groups we have to make. Let's say P group and Q group. Now, if I assume that 2 and 5 goes in one group. Let's say P has 2 and 5 and some x number, some 3 power also. And this will have some y number. Now, pay attention. If this is what P consists of, P consists of x into 2 into 5, something like this, then wouldn't P look something like this? Let's say Z0, something like, let's say 70, 80, 90. That means it will have 0 on the ones digit. Why? Because we have 2 and 5 both here. Correct? So if both are here, then we will have 1 0 here. Correct? Now if we have something like 0 here, now if you interchange its digit, correct? If you interchange digits of P, so if P is equal to 70, then you interchange it, it becomes 07. Correct? So it becomes a one digit number. Now we know that if I multiply a 2-digit number with a 1-digit number, I cannot get 2430. What is the biggest 2-digit number? 99. What is the biggest 1-digit number? 9. Even if you multiply them, what you get? 9 times 81 plus 8, 891. Still much less than 2430. So a 2-digit number and a 1-digit number on multiplication cannot give this 2430. That is why 2 and 5 cannot be together. Understood? So if you give 2 is given to P, then 5 must be given to Q, or vice versa. Understood? This was the trick by which you had to catch it. That 2 and 5 could not be together. Now it becomes much simpler. So what you want? You want to divide this in two groups. One will have 2 in it, one will have 5 in it. Now, what we will do next? This 3 power 5 we have. This will get distributed here and here. Now what power of 3 will go here, what power of 3 will go here, that we see. Otherwise this you got that 2 would be on one number and q would be on and 5 would be on another number. Now see. Now 3 power 5 I have to distribute. Let's see the cases. See, if I give 3 power 5 to any of them, 3 power 5 is what? 243. So it will make that number a 3-digit number, while we have P and Q as 2-digit numbers. So it cannot be a 3-digit number, correct? Cannot be a 3-digit number. Now, so 3 power 5 we cannot give completely to any one of them. Also, if I try to give one of them 3 power 4, 3 power 4 is what? 81. Now if I give 81 to this, it will become 81 into 2, 162, 3-digit number, or 81 into 5, again 3-digit number. So this also we can't give to any one of them. 3 power 5 we can't give to any one of them, 3 power 4 also we cannot give to any one of them. Now, that means we have to give them something like 3 power 2 and 3 power 3, like this. If we cannot give anyone 3 power 4, then we can also not give anyone 3 power 1. Why? Because if anyone cannot be given 3 power 4, the other has to be given 3 power 1, because the sum would always be 3 power 4 plus 1, 5, 2 plus 3, 5. It has to be 5. 3 power 5 whole has to be distributed. So it cannot be 3 power 1 also. So only possibility is this, that it has to be 3 power 2 and 3 power 3. Now let's try both. So let's give 3 square to it and let's give 3 cube to it. What you got? This is the possibility 1. This is possibility 1. Let's see what we get. We get 2 into 3 square. What it will become? 3 square is 9. 9 to some 18. And 3 cube is 27. 27 into 5. It will again become a 3-digit number. So this is also not applicable. What is the only option that remains? This is 3 cube and 3 square. So you take 2, you multiply it with 3 square. You take 5, you multiply it with 3 square. I have not done this, but I still know this only would be the answer, because everything else I have eliminated. So 2 into 3 cube. 3 cube is what? 27. 27 into 2, 54. 5 into 3 square. 3 square is 9. So 9 5s are 45. Wow. They came out exactly the interchange of each other. That is 54 and 45. Understood? Understood? That is why this became fairly easy now. Now you have found P and Q both. What you are asked? You are asked what is the difference between P and Q. So what is the difference between them? 54 and 45. What's the difference? 9. So your answer would be 9. Understood? No kind of any trial and error or try this, try that. Nothing like that. Instead, what we went like this. Now it took a long time to explain you, but when I was doing it for the first time at my home, of course, then what I observed, when I saw this 0 and when I wrote it like this, I knew that one number cannot have 2 and 5 both together, correct? Because then it will form 1-digit number. So I just wrote them like this. Now usually I'll tell you one thing. Usually whenever you are asked to multiply two numbers, then you try to make them closer to each other. In most questions, those will form your answer. Why? Because we needed interchange here. So if we have, like in all other options, what we saw, one number became 3-digit and one number would become 1 digit or 2 digit. Correct? So one number will become extremely large. What we rather want is both numbers to be somewhere close, because it has to be a 2 digit number. So just by seeing this, that 2430 is here, what does this remind you of? Does it not remind you of 2500, which is square of 50? So you could have seen that we need to reach somewhere close to 50. For that, 2 must be multiplied to 3 cube, 5 must be multiplied to 3 square. That is it, and then you get to the answer. Everything else can be eliminated just orally, just by thinking which one is forming 3 digit number. Reject. 3 power 1, 3 power 4 we rejected, 3 power 5 we rejected, 3 power 3 also we rejected, because if we gave it to 5, then it became 3 digit number. Only possibility was to give 5 3 square, and this will get 3 cube and the answer. That is it. This is how you need to think, instead of trial and error and believing in God. Of course, believe in God, but not while doing the CSAT paper. Okay. With this, we are done with this class. Thank you.